Konnichiwa, friends, and welcome back to the Family Fudge. Today, the family and I are traveling to Tokyo, Japan. I haven't been here in almost 20 years, and for the rest of the family, it's going to be their first time. Come along with us as we board multiple flights that almost didn't happen, and we'll explain why our canceled flights ended up being the best thing ever. We're going to take you along with us through our first 48 hours in Japan. This includes how we're navigating the city, a tour of our first Airbnb, a fun meetup with another YouTube family, and we'll take you with us as we hunt for cherry blossoms. So friends, come join our family and let the travels begin. Now, in my last video where I showed you everything I packed for this trip, at the end of that video when I finished filming, that was just about 3 hours before we were supposed to leave for the airport. And that also happened to be about 3 a.m. I did not sleep at all. It was at this time that we found out that our flights were canceled.
But we just got notified that our flight has been canceled.
Now at first, talking with the airline, it looked like we might not be going at all because so many of the alternative flights were either fully booked or if they did have 6 seats, none of them were together. So all of the kids would have to sit next to strangers for over 12 hours. Now after about an hour of going back and forth with the airline, they were finally able to find us different flights. But that's only because they gave us an upgrade. We were going to be in Comfort Plus, that's the economy section with some extra room, but then they upgraded us to Premium Select, which is kind of like a business class. Now our first flight ended up being from Orlando to LAX in California, and that was about 5 hours. Now, I was so glad that I packed everyone their own breakfast sandwich for this flight because even though this was early in the morning and 5 hours long, they only served snacks and drinks. But once we got to LAX, we only had about 10 minutes before we had to get on our next flight. We were cutting it so close. From LAX to Haneda Airport was going to be another 12 hours.
On our 12-hour and 1 minute, we'll try to cut that 1 minute out and make it an even 12 hours for you. We appreciate you choosing to fly Delta.
And you guys, at this point, I was feeling so thankful that we were on board and we were actually going because so many of the things that we had pre-booked in Japan were going to be non-refundable. So things like Disney and certain hotels, we were going to be out all of that money. And of course, I was also super thankful that we had the upgrade to larger seats with more room. But you guys, even though we were in sort of a business class, some things weren't quite as expected. As you can see, the seat in front of me was kind of falling apart and hitting me in the leg. Now, luckily, my husband John was able to pop it back into place, so it wasn't hitting me the entire flight. Another unexpected thing was that each of these seats came with a footrest. We got a really fluffy pillow and a cozy blanket, and they also gave us some slippers. These were so nice. We didn't have to wear our shoes the entire time. Then, in this little pouch, they gave us an eye mask, some socks, a toothbrush and toothpaste, some earplugs, and a lip balm. Now, as far as entertainment goes, they did have lots of movies and TV shows. Lily chose to watch The Wizard of Oz, that's her favorite, and each screen came with its own remote. Now, the food service was really nice. We actually got a little tablecloth. They gave us real cups and tableware, but honestly, the food itself was just okay. For dinner, I had the chicken, which was a little bit dry. This also came with crackers, a salad, and some little cream puffs, on the side for desserts. And for my drink, I had ginger ale. Now for the kids, they had the pasta option. This was kind of like a lasagna, but with white sauce that had no meat and lots of cheese, so they liked it. But then all of their sides and their desserts were the same. Pretty much right after dinner, they turned off all the lights and we all got as much sleep as we could. Closer to landing, they did serve a breakfast. The choices were yogurt with granola or scrambled eggs with potatoes. But you guys, it was still really dark in the plane, so I didn't even film it. Now, we landed in Tokyo around 2 p.m. And the very first thing we did when we got off the plane was have our first experience with the fabulous and high-tech Japanese bathrooms. Now, I know this might be an odd thing to share, but you guys, Japanese bathrooms are best. Not only are they super clean, but they're free and they come with lots of buttons and gadgets. This one even had a little seat called a mama's helper. That way you can put your toddler in there if they're with you. This one also had an automatic sound machine, and that's to just disguise any bathroom noises. And just in case you weren't sure, they had some very clear instructions on how not to use the facilities. From there, we went through customs and immigration, and even though we filled out all of the forms ahead of time, it still took us over an hour to get through everything. The lines were very full. Before we left the airport, we made sure to stop and get some IC cards for each person in the family. Now, we could have gotten something called a Welcome Suica card, but since that line was crazy long, we went just around the corner and we bought some Pasmo passports instead. Now with these IC cards, in Japan you can use them for the train rides, the buses, some vending machines, and you can even use them to pay for things at convenience stores like 7-Eleven. So these are very necessary. When it comes to leaving the airport, one of the best things we decided not to do was to take the train from the airport into the city. With all of the kids and our suitcases, we decided just to book a private transfer instead. This picked us up from the airport and it took us directly to our Airbnb. Now, we booked this using a site called Klook, which is a travel agency. This private transfer wasn't exactly cheap, but I think it was totally worth it. We didn't have to worry about getting our luggage on the trains. We didn't have to worry about figuring out which train to take. Unfortunately, we did make that mistake when we visited Paris, and it wasn't a fun time. And just as a side note, you guys, in Japan, there is a service where you can forward just your luggage to your hotel, and that is another great option. But number one, we weren't staying in a hotel, and then number two, they actually charge between $20 to $30 per suitcase when you do that. So if you times that by 6 people, it can get pretty pricey. Because our Airbnb wasn't really that far, it just worked better for us to hire a van to take us and all of our luggage all at once to our Airbnb. For our first Airbnb, we decided not to stay in the heart of Tokyo. Instead, we stayed in this area. Not only was it a lot cheaper, but it was also not as busy, not as loud, but it was still close to the train station, which is important when visiting Tokyo. So as you enter, we find the area called the Genkan. That's where you must take off your shoes, otherwise it's very rude. And it looks like there's a little storage space for your shoes and some house slippers. Very nice. So down here we have one little bedroom with a double bed and a little toilet room. Then here is a separate area. See, we have a washer, a little sink, and a shower. Very nice. And now to go up to the next level. Ooh, these stairs are very steep. Okay. So you have a little table area. Very tall windows. Right over here is the little living room. Some couches. And a really cool chair. And then back over this way, we'll find the kitchen. Not huge, but definitely has enough space. And then check this out, you guys. They are so good at recycling here, and they have a different bin for each of the different items. So we have a microwave, a fridge, just the basics. And then right off of this space, we have another little sink area and another toilet. I'm glad to see there's more than one for our large size family. Okay, and then, and now we're going up the next set of stairs. Whoa, these are steep as well. Okay, so in here we have 2 double beds. These are really cool. No eating or drinking in the bed. Let's see. Oh, there's the dining room down there. And then over here we have another little double bed. Due to jet lag and the time difference, we were all up and awake really early the next day. And since it was Sunday, we decided to go ahead and figure out the train lines so we could head out to explore. A couple of train stops later, we made our first stop of the day, which was to Pa's church. We received such a warm welcome, and while we were there, we met up with fellow YouTubers, the Ryder family. Now, they have a channel called Life in Japan that you should definitely go subscribe to, and if you do, let them know that the Family Fudge sent you. After that, we were definitely needing some lunch and some dinner, so we spent quite a lot of time exploring a local grocery store called OK. We needed to stock up. And friends, stay tuned because I will be sharing some grocery hauls, including a trip to Costco in Japan in some of our future videos. Normally, when it comes to cherry blossom season in Japan, it's usually done by this time. So when we found out that they were actually delayed this year and that we could still see them, we made that the next thing on our itinerary. Now, to see these cherry blossoms, instead of following the crowds into Tokyo, we decided to head west again to a very lovely place. This area was so cute and clean, and it wasn't crowded at all. Now, you guys, I am no expert, but I did look this up, and it said that the Japanese people have loved cherry blossoms or sakura since ancient times. The flowers represent life, death, beauty, renewal, and optimism. Cherry blossoms have such a short lifespan. They usually only last about 2 weeks, and it's usually a time to get out with your family or your friends to view them. Now, while we were there, the cherry blossoms were just starting to fall, and it almost looked like snow was raining down. It was so beautiful. It was so nice by the water. There were actually huge fish in there that you could see, and thankfully nobody fell in that water.
Hey, Mommy.
Yeah?
I have a question for you.
What's your question?
Can you say anything like that?
Oh, that sign says no dancing or no falling. You think it does? No, no dancing. That's against the rules.
I'm so glad the kids got to experience this, and I'm also happy we got to share this with you guys. Coming up next time on the Family Fudge, come with us as we explore Japan's version of Walmart. We'll show you some awesome foods from 7-Eleven, and for dinner we're checking out some conveyor belt sushi. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Family Fudge. Today, the family and I are exploring even more of Japan.
and this time we're going shopping. Come along with us as we check out Japan's out-of-control version of Walmart, also known as Don Quixote. While we're there, we're giving each kid 1,000 yen to buy whatever they want. Today we're also going to be eating only 7-Eleven food for lunch, and then we'll finish the day with some conveyor belt sushi, which is surprisingly so much cheaper than it would be back at home. So friends, come join our family and let the adventures begin.
So as you can see, it is quite wet today, so we decided to actually make this a shopping day. So we'll be inside and hopefully not getting soaked. Right now it is just about lunchtime, so we're going to stop and get some snacks at the conveni before we get on the train.
Now, I don't want to sound like a hater, but in the States, we pretty much only go to 7-Eleven for gas or the occasional Slurpee. But here in Japan, 7-Elevens are so much better, and I'll show you why.
Now, as far as convenience stores go in Japan, there are lots of them, and all of them have something a little bit different. It's hard to pick just one favorite, but if I'm looking for like a sandwich or something hot and prepares, I'm going to 7-Eleven. If I'm looking for a dessert, I'm going to Lawson's. And if I want family chicken or some really good fried chicken, I'm going to Family Mart. So convenience stores are usually kind of small, and with all 6 of us, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So what I like to do is I'll take the girls and let them pick something while the boys stay with John, and then it'll be the boys' turn, or vice versa. I take them in groups. That way we're not taking up the entire store.
7-Elevens in Japan, of course, have things like snacks and drink, but they also have a huge selection of fresh foods and baked goods that you wouldn't find in the US. Now, I'm a huge fan of their sandwiches, especially the strawberry sandwich and the egg salad sandwich. Then they also have things like noodle dishes and rice bowls, and they'll even heat these up for you at the register if you want. I also think their ice cream selection is amazing. And then, of course, the baked goods, I find that these are really different. You can get things like corn and mayo bread, curry-filled bread, some crab-shaped bread, and then they also have some French toast with fermented butter. Something else that I love at 7-Eleven are their DIY smoothie cups. These are so good and surprisingly cheap. Now, at 7-Eleven, you often pay with machines like this one, so don't worry if you don't know a lot of Japanese, you will be fine. Another thing that I've noticed is that the workers here are so happy to help you.
Let's get going. You come over here, and you put on your lid, and you already have your straw, and there you go. Ikimashou. So one of the things that I've been told, and I'm pretty sure that it's true, is that it's quite rude to eat and drink while you're walking in Japan. So we're actually going to pull over here right in front of the 7-Eleven and have our little snacky lunch before we head out. But I want to show you what everybody picked because you got quite the variety here. Now, Miss Lily, she picked something that I've never tried before myself. It's basically a little croquette. So that's basically like a deep fried item. This one has potato and cheese. So I'm thinking it's going to be like a big mozzarella stick maybe. Should we open it and see? Okay, you hold that. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like mashed potatoes with cheese, and it's like fried. So it's like really crispy on the outside with the panko breadcrumbs. Here you go, Missy. And then Griffin chose one of my favorites. I used to get these all the time when I worked here in Japan because not only are they delicious, but they're actually really cheap. I think this one was like 191 yen or something like that. But basically, it's kind of like a bao bun, but it actually has like tomato sauce and cheese. Look, it actually says pizza on the outside. These are so good and cheesy. Look at that cheese pull. You can see the steam coming off of it. So yummy. So you just go like this, and then you can eat it. And actually, I picked the same thing. And then lastly, as you guys saw, Jackson chose the smoothie. This is our first time buying a smoothie at 7-Eleven, and it was so easy. Actually, the lady helped us, and she was so sweet. You actually buy the fruit first, and then you can take this over and put it in the machine, and it does everything. Let's give it a taste test. You know what it tastes like? It tastes exactly like a Costco smoothie, like the berry one that they used to have. It tastes exactly the same. It's pretty good. And then another thing about Japan is you're not going to find a lot of trash cans anywhere. So this little garbage that I have, I'm going to put in my reusable bag, and I'll need to carry it around with me all day or until I find a trash can. Because even here at the 7-Eleven, I don't see one at all. So I guess I'm taking it with me. It came in a set of all fruit-looking bags, and it actually just, it's kind of like that old school poppable toy where you just pop it out. And there we have it. This one's purple, so this is technically Lily's bag, but we're going to share this one today. And there we have it, little garbage. I'll fold this up, stick it in my backpack, and it'll go with me everywhere. So cheers. Cheers. Or sheep. So as a big group, when we go into train stations, we always have our stuff ready. So our cards are out and ready to use, so we don't like hold up the line and make people mad. And for this, we're gonna need our Pasmo card. This isn't a regular Pasmo. I guess they're having a shortage of those right now. And so this one's just for like visitors, so people here on vacation. Now we could have gotten a welcome Suica card that would work exactly the same, but when we were at the airport, the line for that card was like half an hour, and this one had no line at all. And plus, I like that this one has the cute little Sanrio characters on it. So you can use this for the trains, for the buses, and at vending machines, and 7-Eleven too. Now, when we got these at the airport, we were at the counter, and we actually were talking to a real person. And because we did that, we were able to get kids Pasmo cards for 12 and under, and they get 50% off of their ride fares. And another interesting thing is that when they go through the little touch point, you actually hear a little bird chirping noise, and that's to tell everyone around that there's a child going through. Can we just have a moment for the hair? Because with this weather, by the end of this video, I'm gonna be like crazy looking. It's gonna be a wild mess. I know it looks like I'm crying, but it's actually just so cold that my eyes are like tearing up. I'm not crying. I'm actually really happy to be here. We're having a great time, and I'm excited to go to Don Quixote. I've never actually been to Don Quixote, because when I lived in Japan, I was out in the country and we didn't really have big stores like that. So I'm excited to go and see what there is. So I can read Japanese a little bit to a certain extent, but I'm still sounding things out. So I'm trying to read this warning sign here, and I'm not quite sure what it means, but we're gonna go down this dark looking tunnel anyways. Ready? Ikimashou. Made it. Oh my gosh, look, it goes in this direction, that direction, it goes in that direction. This reminds me of parts of London actually, except way cleaner. Okay, so I'm still curious what this says. So in this case, we're gonna use Google Translate. it? So yeah, you're supposed to ride your bicycle down the center part. That's like a wild ride. The mascot of Don Quixote is like a big blue penguin. I do know that much. And we're almost there, and that's good because I'm freezing. Let's go. Check out this retro-looking police van.
Now, I'd say Don Quixote is similar to Walmart because they have an incredibly diverse range of products. Like so many different things to choose from, things you didn't even know you needed.
Definitely gonna need one of these. Let's go. Today I'm looking for lunch supply, beauty stuff, and that's about it. We're gonna give each kid 1,000 yen to spend on whatever they want, and we'll see who picks the coolest items. And you guys, I know 1,000 yen sounds like a lot, but it's roughly $9, $8, depending on the conversion rate. So
Don Quixote also likes to have lots of bargain price items, which definitely makes me think of Walmart. You'll find things like groceries, electronics, clothing, lots and lots of cosmetics. They also have household goods, souvenirs, and you'll even find some unusual or quirky items that might appeal to tourists. There's so much going on, it can almost be like a sensory overload in these stores.
okay guys, now I was super excited to find these American cereals here. So we have Cinnamon Toast Crunch Minis, Reese's Puff Minis. We got Lucky Charms with s'mores and Kit Kat cereal. Oh, look at the price. Look at the price. 1,380 yen. That's expensive for one box of cereal. I would never spend that much on one box of cereal. Okay, so this store actually has a lot of prepared foods as well, like bentos and rice balls. But look at this massive one. This one actually has katsu, like a pork cutlet, and yakisoba inside. Never seen such a thing before. Look at all the different rice balls, and they're all super cheap. But you guys, my favorite one is this one. This is like an omu rice ball. It's got like a ketchupy rice on the bottom with a soft egg on top, or like a scrambled egg sort of topping. It's really good. Okay, this is making me hungry. We need to go. So I did pass these salad dressings, and this Gola sesame seed one is definitely my favorite, but for a second I thought I found ranch here in Japan, and I was gonna be shocked. This totally looks like ranch. Shi da sarada dore pingu. Oh, it's Caesar! It's Caesar! Okay. I got it. So here's our cart full of stuff. We got a lot of snacks, some beauty products. I didn't find any bento things that I needed, but the kids did find one item. I was starting to think though that 1,000 yen here was not going to buy hardly anything, but that's okay. But the kids are getting tired and hungry, so we're going to check out and then head over to Kura Sushi. So we were just about to leave at Don Quixote, and I found the bento boxes, and they're actually really cute. There's this Harry Potter one, which is actually like a double stacked one. There's also a Frozen on an Elsa one, a little plaid one, which I love, and there's even a Hello Kitty. But you guys, I have so many lunch boxes back at home. I'm actually almost out of space for them. So I'm going to have to pass on these today, but they are adorable. Kura Sushi is a place that we love to go to back at home, but this is a little bit different. Right now, it's not really dinner or lunchtime, so there's not really anybody here. But check this out. Before you eat, you can actually stop and wash your hands. That is a great idea, so let's all do that, okay? Back at home in Florida, our Kura Sushi is much smaller, and there is like no waiting area at all. But look at this, it's huge. This isn't even the biggest Kura Sushi. I've heard that there's one in Ikebukuro near Tokyo Skytree that can seat up to like 300 people at once. So
So it's a little bit different than in Florida. In Florida, there is a tablet for ordering, but it's like attached to the thing so nobody can steal it, which makes sense. So we're actually gonna place our order on this tablet and then we'll let you know what we got. Another thing we don't have at our Kura Sushi is the ability to make your own matcha. So there's a little container there, and over here, there's a little hot water dispenser. We do not have those in America, or at least at the location in Orlando for whatever reason. Okay, so I'm noticing that there are a lot of differences between this menu and the menu in Florida. There's not a lot of like rolls, like you can't get a California roll or a Texas roll, obviously. No. So I'm just gonna do all the ordering, what I think people will like, and hopefully they will. Wait. So it took me a minute to figure this out, but it looks like you have to scan this. Okay guys, so that full table of stuff came to 4,490 yen. When we go to Kura Sushi in Orlando, it almost always costs us at least $100, so such a good deal. Okay guys, we got back from our trip and we're all pretty tired. I actually changed into my comfy clothes, and then I remembered that we didn't actually show you what we got from Don Quixote. So, should we show them?
Yeah.
So Lily picked this miniature barber set and a chocolate soy milk. Interesting combo. Jackson chose this mini Snoopy's garage and some little chocolate biscuits. Griffin chose this mini kitchen set and some little cookies that kind of look like Oreos. Mackenzie got a couple of different things. This is a My Melody exfoliating towel, and I don't know if you've ever tried an exfoliating towel from Japan, but they are amazing. And the plus is that this one's also cute. She picked these little choco mushroom snacks. For me, I got this special face wash. And then I'm most excited about these face masks. These say that they can make you look like you've slept for 8 hours in just 8 minutes, and I could definitely use that. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I've heard good things about it, and this pack has a couple of different masks. And then I also got this hair mask treatment. I've heard really good stuff about this one too. Coming up next time on the Family Fudge, we're taking you along with us as we check out some super unique Japanese vending machines. After that, we're kicking off our Japanese road trip. We'll eat lunch at Costco in Japan, and I'll share with you exactly how I nearly broke my ankle. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Family Fudge. In today's video, we're hitting the road in Japan. We'll get a quick glimpse of Mount Fuji before heading off the beaten path to find some of Japan's most interesting vending machines. Come with us as we try all sorts of questionable snacks. Then further on our journey, we're stopping at one of my favorite stores ever, Costco. And even though I've been to Japan a bunch of times, this is my first time getting to see a Japanese Costco. And then while we're there, we're going to test out the entire food court menu. So friends, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and now come join our family and let the journey begin. Ohayou gozaimasu! So today we're starting our little road trip. John just picked up the van, and this is the first time he's driving in Japan, so we're crossing our fingers.
It's very similar to the UK.
It is. It's similar to the UK.
Although the signs are all different.
So it was a little bit hectic getting everything out of the Air BnB on time. And while doing so quickly, I slipped and fell off the stair and twisted my ankle a bit. It's okay. It could have been worse. I'm happy about that. But today we have a jam-packed schedule. It's a nice sunny day, no rain, it's not super cold, and we just had our first spotting of Mount Fuji, which was really exciting. There it is. Now we're not heading there today, but I'm happy that we could at least see it as you drive by. not sure what is in this truck.
Our first stop of the day is to the Sagamihara Vending Machine Park. And I know what you might be thinking. With all that Japan has to offer, why are we checking out vending machines? But friends, vending machines in Japan are so different than they are in the US. First off, there are just so many. In fact, Japan has the highest number of vending machines per capita in the world, with roughly one vending machine for every 23 people. And in Japan, you'll see vending machines everywhere, not only in main areas like train stations, but you'll also find them parked in residential neighborhoods and sometimes even out on country roads. When I lived up in Niigata, my town even had an egg vending machine and a rice vending machine as well. Now, even in Tokyo Disneyland, they have some adorable vending machines. Also, the vending machines here in Japan really do have a huge variety. Not only do they sell things like cold drinks, but they also have hot drinks, hot foods, alcohol, umbrellas, underwear. They have all kinds of snacks and even some have edible insects. But don't worry, you guys, we're not going to be trying any insects today. Now, at this vending machine park, there are so many different things to choose from with over 100 different machines. And we're going to let each kid pick what they want to try.
This machine right here has udon. This one has ramen. And then these really old looking ones right here. We have a hamburger. And then it looks like this one has all different things. This one says Tosurto Sando. So toasted sandwich, you got it. This one right here has all coffee. And then this one, it says marriage on it, but I guarantee you it's not selling marriage. It looks like green tea, grape, chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla ice cream. They even have a couple here that sell alcohol. This funny one right here has curry rice. I love that. I might want to try that one. And then here's one that sells kakigori, which is like a shaved ice. Here we have another noodle one. This one has udon and the soba. And then right over here, there's one that's not food at all. This one says omikuji, which is like a fortune. You put your money in and it shoots out a piece of paper. And then if you see right here, we have papers up here and papers over there. So the idea is if you don't like the fortune you get, you can tie it up here and then you won't have that fortune anymore. Now this one right here actually sells popcorn in 3 different flavors. There's salt, barbecue, chocolate. That is so interesting. I want to try that one. Here's a different curry machine. And then look at these super retro looking soda machines. You have 7-Up and Pepsi. Now these 2 right here, it looks like you get an entire dish, but actually you get these foods frozen and you're supposed to take them home and heat them up. Okay, look at this one, you guys. This one is actually candy cigarette. Now, I remember seeing things like this at 7-Eleven when I was a kid. These are super retro. Oh yeah, and it's actually gum. Now, over here, we found 2 machines that make fresh orange juice. So it actually squeezes in everything. And guys, so this place is so big, it continues down this alley. So let's go check it out. Now this one's a little bit hard to see in this dark area, but it's baseball themed. And in here we have some tomato juice, some energy drinks, and more energy drinks. Let's keep going down the hallway. Oh yeah, this one has disposable cameras. I used to use these when I was your age.
Some other really interesting machines include this one that had several different kinds of soup like Odin, clam soup, and onion soup. I used to buy the corn soup because in Japan, these soups actually come out hot, which is so nice in the winter.
Okay, now this one we have to check out because not only does it have popcorn, but it also has pan in a can. So like bread in a can. Canned Everfresh bread. Okay, so Mackenzie decided she's gonna get popcorn, right, Stevie? Do you wanna get salt or barbecue?
Now Mackenzie went with the butter flavored popcorn, and this looked just like microwave popcorn that you might make at home, and it tasted just like it too, although this one was a bit dry. For Griffin's choice, he picked out one of these toasted sandwiches. Now this machine also had a red bean and butter flavor and also a tuna flavor, but what he chose was the ham and cheese. This sandwich came out of the vending machine extremely hot, like you're almost gonna burn your fingertips hot. It looked very similar to the grilled cheese sandwiches that I make with my little grilled cheese maker back at home. Now in addition to cheese and ham, this sandwich also had some spicy mustard, which is probably why we all thought that this was just okay. Now for Jackson's pick, he wanted to try the burger machine. This one also had a chicken burger option and a teriyaki burger, but Jackson just chose the regular one. Now this took a little bit of time in the machine, but again, once it came out, it was so hot. The bun on this burger was very steamed and kind of squishy, but then inside, it looked like there was a bit of ketchup, a bit of mustard, and maybe some onion, but I'm not quite sure. Jackson tried this and he gave it a thumbs up. To me, this kind of reminded me of a slider that you might get at a restaurant called White Castle here in the States. Next was Lily's choice, and she picked out the kakigori, which is similar to shaved ice or a snow cone. This machine had melon, strawberry, and lemon flavors, but the only one that wasn't sold out was the strawberry. Now, Lily tends to be a picky eater, so I was really happy that she found something she liked, even if it was just ice and syrup. Now for me, I really wanted to try this curry rice machine because I love Japanese curry, but it was sold out. And unfortunately, we found that quite a few of the machines here were also sold out. So last but not least, Jackson wanted to try an old-fashioned soda, so we ended up going with this grape Fanta. And you guys, check out this vintage glass bottle. And this machine also has a bottle opener.
There it is. Japanese Costco. I'm so excited.
Now friends, as a family of 6, I love shopping at Costco, hashtag not sponsored, and anytime we travel, if there is a Costco nearby, I'm going to want to stop. And friends, there were so many things that I loved about Costco in Japan. In fact, I filmed so much while I was here that I'm going to make an entirely separate video on it, so stay tuned for that.
Now we couldn't leave Costco without trying the food court food, and this menu has some similar things, but some different things too. I decided to get almost one of everything on the menu. We got some pretty standard looking Costco dogs. The only difference is that here they actually have not only all of the condiments, but the onions too. We haven't had onions at our Costco since before COVID. Next, I got a combo slice of pizza. That's not something you can get in the US anymore. They do not have combo slices. Then I also got one slice of just plain cheese.
You guys, this pizza was spot on. It tasted identical to the US version, which really surprised me because when we tried Costco pizza in the UK, that was really different.
Over here, I got some soft serve. This is actually Hokkaido cream, so it should be really rich and delicious. And then we also got the family bucket. So this has some potato wedges and some chicken strips.
Now, I thought this bucket of chicken was really interesting because it looked like KFC, but it didn't taste like KFC.
And I almost forgot about this one. This is a bulgogi bake. So instead of chicken, it's got beef inside.
This bulgogi bake I thought was really good, but it was a little on the sweet side. Now friends, stay tuned for our next video because I'm going to take you along with me on a full tour of this Costco. I'm going to show you what's the same as the US and what's different. I'm and I'll share with you how much groceries cost in Japan. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.
Konnichiwa, everybody. Today's video is all about Costco in Japan. I'm going to take you along with me as I experience my first ever Japanese Costco. And I'm on a mission to find out what items they're going to have that are the same as the US and what items they're going to have that are uniquely Japanese. We're going to check out the snack food section, the bakery, the prepared food section, the toys, of course. We'll also check out the everyday goods and so much more. And of course, I'm going to be popping up prices along the way because I'm really interested to find out how much groceries cost in Japan versus the US. So friends, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please come join our family and let the adventure begin. Now on this channel, our love for Costco goes way back. I've been sharing Costco videos since the kids were tiny. And years ago, we even shared a tour of the largest Costco in the world, which is actually in Salt Lake City. That Costco was so massive, definitely go check out that video. And then recently, we were lucky enough to tour our very first international Costco when we visited the UK. With a family of 6, I do like to shop in bulk. That way, I'm usually going just once a month, and I usually get a better price when I buy in bulk too. I love the variety of items at Costco, especially when it comes to seasonal things. For Halloween or for Christmas, I always find the cutest decor. Now, another thing we always love are their free samples. That way, if we don't end up liking whatever it is, we won't waste our money on it. And then, of course, we also love the food court. It is super cheap for a large family to have lunch here, and we appreciate that. Now, I've read that there's 33 different Costcos in Japan right now. And even though I've been to Japan plenty of times, visiting a Costco here is going to be a first for me, and I'm so excited. We went straight to the snack section first.
Okay, right off the bat, I see something that's exactly the same as we have at home. It's a big old thing of Costco popcorn. You get 44 bags for $24.98. I don't know, it seems a little bit expensive, maybe not. And then this mixed nut bag, this one has almonds, walnuts, cashews, and macadamia nuts. I've actually seen this bag of nuts in the UK Costco and at home in Florida. I see some Lay's. This is a huge bag. But this bag also has a zipper on top. That's handy. And they only have the one flavor of sour cream and onion. So here's a snack that Lily wants to try. This looks like some kind of cheese snack. So we're gonna give those a try. Now, I don't know about beef jerky, but I was able to find some bacon jerky. This looks interesting. Do you wanna try it? We found even more chips. This one has a barbecue flavor Cheeto. That's different. I've never seen that before. It has the classic Lay's and a taco flavored Doritos. And I guess there's 6 bags of this flavor, 6 bags of this one, and only 3 of this one. I almost didn't see these ones. There's plain Ruffles in here too. Lily found something else she wants to try. These look like garlic bread flavored potato wedges. They feel like they're hard. Yeah, maybe freeze-dried. Let's get them. Here's something we have at home. This is the classic Costco salsa. This stuff is so good, but I don't need any today. Now here's something we definitely don't have at home. These are little quail eggs. They're cooked or hard-boiled quail eggs, but these ones have a smoked flavor. Interesting. It's like a little snack pack of a quail egg. Oh, and look, it actually suggests that you can put it in a lunchbox. I'm guessing my kids are gonna pass on these. We definitely have this at home, but it seems much more expensive here. And then here's an interesting snack. The kids haven't tried these yet, but I've tried them and they are really good. These are chicken flavored crunchy ramen noodles. You kind of eat them like chips, but they taste like ramen. But I don't think I'm gonna get such a huge box. Maybe I'll just get a couple from a regular grocery store. Ooh, look at this one. Macadamia popcorn crunch. That sounds so good. I wonder if this is actually from Hawaii. It is. It's from Hawaii. Okay, right off the bat, the fun, colorful look of this box definitely got my attention. These look like little kid animal crackers, and these are so cute because each of the animals actually have the English on there, so you can kind of like have your snack and learn English at the same time. Here's a candy that we're definitely familiar with. There's this huge bag of Snickers, and something we also have at home, a big container of chocolate almonds. Here's something I've never seen before but looks really interesting. I love pistachios. These ones are actually chocolate covered pistachios. That's definitely not something we have at home. Should we get them? They're kind of pricey. It's kind of a big bag, I don't know.
Next, we moved on to the home items and the clothing.
Okay, so here we are in the clothing area. We definitely have this at home, but this one looks a little bit smaller. Like there's not quite as many things, not a huge variety. I definitely don't need any shoes, but these are pretty cool. They say they're waterproof. Okay, so this area is amazing. I definitely don't need any blankets, but there are both cooling blankets and regular blankets, and they're all Disney and Sanrio themed. So we have an Ariel cooling blanket and a cinema roll cooling blanket. This is so nice. I'm so tempted to get one, but I don't have that much room in my suitcase, so I don't know. And then over here in the regular blankets, we have a Mike Wazowski. So cute, and these are so soft. And there's a Baymax. I love Baymax. There's a Kuromi. I know Lily would love that one. This must be, yep, it's Winnie the Pooh. Adorable.
After that, we skipped over to the bakery items. And friends, at this point, the battery on my mic had died. Before Costco, we actually spent the morning at this huge vending machine park. Definitely go check out that video if you haven't already. So this next part is going to be a voiceover. The first item we came across was called hotel bread, and honestly, I still have no idea what hotel bread actually is. So if any of you guys know, please leave it in the comments below. Next, we found this strawberry custard cake that looked amazing, and I know that Japanese strawberries are so tasty. We did end up buying this. Now, I was so excited to see that Costco here also has the double pack of muffins. We get these at home all the time and the kids love them. We ended up getting a chocolate one and a banana nut one, but I actually got these to save until later. These I got to have as a quick breakfast in our hotel during our Tokyo Disney stay. When I first came to Japan as a teenager, this type of curry bread was one of my favorite snacks. They're kind of like a savory, curry-filled donut. Then right next to those, I also found these bacon and cheese muffins. These kind of look like a flavored English muffin, so I did end up buying these to make some breakfast sandwiches. In this area, I found several items that looked just like we would find at a US Costco. They had croissants, these American-sized cupcakes, and they even had the dinner rolls. I don't know why, but these always remind me of a church potluck. And then of course, they had the sheet cake section. Now these did look a bit smaller than the ones in the US, and they did have birthday cakes in both chocolate and vanilla. And you guys, I loved how some of them said congratulations in English and some of them said congratulations in Japanese. So it really seems like this Costco is trying to cater to both Western people and Japanese people. Now right next to the cakes, I found a really interesting looking dessert that looked like a cross between a cheesecake and a pie. Next, we headed over to the prepared food section. Now, I love this section back at home, especially for a quick dinner. First, I picked up this garlic beef rice. This looked so good. This did make it into our cart and it was so tasty. Then also in this section, we found these bao buns that kind of look like tacos at first, but the label actually said Ebi Chili Bao Burger. So I'm guessing it's some kind of spicy shrimp dish. We also found some pork quesadillas, some bulgogi meat, some grilled chicken sandwiches, and a classic Caesar salad. These are all things that we have at the Costco back at home. And also like the Costco back at home, they did have these gigantic take and bake pizzas. Now I was looking at these and I was a bit confused because at all the places I've ever stayed in Japan, none of them have had an oven big enough to cook such a large pizza. So I'm totally wondering who buys these here. But then something I saw lots of people buying here were these trays of sushi and nigiri. These looked so fresh and colorful. Now I have seen sushi at Costco here in the US, but it did not look as good as this. Next to the sushi, they also had so many different types of seafood, cooked and not cooked. Oh yes, and this did include octopus,
which by the way, I have seen at my Costco back home in Orlando. Oh yes, and I do have to mention that they did have the classic Costco rotisserie chickens too. Now on to the refrigerated section. I found lots of American style items here, including bacon, some hummus just like the one I buy back at home. We also found our favorite pesto and our favorite tortelloni. I buy these all the time. Now something I also buy all the time at home are these little mozzarella bites. These are so good. But then these are something I'd never seen before. At first, I thought they were eggs, but it turns out these are actually individual puddings. Now, right next to the refrigerated section, we found more snacks like cookies. These ones are super popular in Tokyo, I'm told. And then right next to those, we found these heavenly hunks. Now, these are another thing that I buy back at home quite often. Now, next to that area, they did have a small selection of plants, and I have to say, I fell in love with the hydrangeas. Those are my favorite flower. Then lastly, in the refrigerated section, I was able to find this butter. Now the packaging on this looked very interesting to me, almost like some toothpaste. I also found these hamburger steaks, some mini hot dogs, and then my kids' favorite yakisoba. And I just have to say that this yakisoba here in Japan is really very different from the yakisoba I usually buy at Costco in the US. Now in this section, I also found these Costco dogs, which are just like the ones from home. And I also found a gigantic bag of potato smiles. Over in the dairy section, we found some eggs, and you guys, I thought the price on these seemed like such a great deal. Now, it wouldn't be a trip to Costco for us without checking out the toy section. We found a Play Rocket set, our favorite Disney princess dolls, and they had so many different types of Lego sets. They had some crafting kits, and then something I wasn't expecting to find were these workbooks. These ones were all in English, actually. Now, right next to the toys, they had this bike section. Some of these bikes even had motors on them, and some of them were kind of pricey too. The one I liked the most was over 120,000 yen. Now, another thing that Costco is known for are their samples. This Costco did have a few of them, but the kids weren't really interested in trying them. Now, I did end up trying one of them, and this was called drinking vinegar. This is supposed to be good for your liver and your digestion. It's a bit like kombucha. Next, we made our way over to the pantry items, and we immediately found lots of familiar items. This includes Frosted Flakes cereal, some Martinelli's apple cider, this maple syrup I buy all the time. We also found some canned chicken, some UK-styled baked beans, some pasta sauce, and of course, some Kraft mac and cheese. There were also plenty of Japanese items too. I totally regret not buying this ramen set. It had different ramen from all over Japan. And if I'd had the space in my suitcase, I would have stocked up on my favorite salad dressing. This one is goma, which means sesame seed. When I lived in Niigata, I lived in a dormitory that served this salad dressing like every single day. Before we checked out the food court section, we wanted to pass by the paper products, and we found out that the toilet paper was exactly the same, but then the paper towels in Japan, these seemed really pricey. Now, once we were done shopping and we checked out, we headed to the food court. And one of the first things that I noticed is that there was a super orderly parking area for the shopping carts to stay while you eat your food. You guys, the food court in Orlando is not like this. It's definitely more of a free-for-all back at home. Now, on the Costco food court menu, they did have similar things like the classic hot dog and drink combo. They also had the pizzas, including combo pizza, which I was so happy to see. They also had the fruit smoothie and some soft serve. But then instead of the chicken bake like we have back in the US, they have a bulgogi bake. They also have clam chowder, a chicken and potato bucket, and some hot and cold coffees and lattes. Now, we did do a taste test of all of these food court items in a separate video, so definitely go check that out if you want to know if everything was tasty or not. Now, friends, is Costco in Japan better than Costco in the US? For me, I love them both. I'd love to know what you think down below. Konnichiwa, everybody! In today's video, we're going to one of my favorite thrift stores in Japan. Come along with me as I share what thrift stores are like in Japan. I'll show you all the different items that they have, some of the prices, and at the end, I'll show you what we end up buying. But before all that, for this part of our journey, I'm taking a walk down memory lane, and I'm visiting the town that I stayed in when I first came to Japan. I'm going to take the kids to explore the Japanese countryside. We're going to try lots of local foods, and then I'll take you on a tour of our super unique themed Airbnb. This house was full of surprises. We even found a secret room. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now friends, come join our family and let the journey begin. In our last video, we left off at a Costco in Kawasaki. While we were there, we stocked up on plenty of snacks and we had lunch before the next part of our road trip. Now, if you haven't seen our full Japan Costco tour, definitely go check out that video. I will link it down below. Now, I know that when visitors come to Japan, a lot of them will either stay in the Tokyo area or they'll explore what's known as the Golden Triangle. Now, that means they'll visit Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. But instead of doing all that, what I really wanted to do was take the family up to a town called Chichibu in Saitama Prefecture. This is the area where I did several homestay programs as a teenager. And you guys, if you're not familiar, a homestay program is really where you get to live with a local family. That way you can really learn about the culture and the customs of Japan. And you guys, this is such a chill area of Japan. It's not like Tokyo at all, and I really wanted my kids to experience it. But you know, by the time we made it to our Airbnb, it was late and pretty dark. So we weren't able to do our house tour until the next day. Yokoso! And welcome to our house in Chichibu. Let's take a tour. Now, of course, I wanted to stay in this area, but I picked this particular place to stay because it's very themed and it reminds me of Airbnbs that you might find near Disney World, where we're from. And speaking of Disney, this Airbnb is called Villa Brave. And you guys are gonna see why it makes me think of Merida from the Disney movie Brave. Sorry, you guys, this Airbnb is very castle-like, so the lighting is quite dark in places. Oh yes, and in many Japanese homes, you'll find these specific toilet slippers, and you're only supposed to wear these while you're in the toilet room. Next, we've come to the LDK, also known as the living room, dining room, kitchen area. But of course, this space has lots of fun details. First, there's a fairy house. There's also a game center full of lots of board games. And then this bookcase over here is filled with lots of children's books. And then right under the stairs, there's a little Harry Potter type room. And in here, there's even more books and some toys. Now, last night when we got here, we learned that somewhere in the house there was going to be a special key hidden, and Griffin actually found it this morning. This key is supposed to open the treasure chest. What is it? Oh, it's like little toys. So this is like a little, kind of like the toys you got at Don Quixote. There's like a little animal figurine, and then this one is for the cotton candy machine. You guys want to make cotton candy? Yeah. Awesome prize. And now on to the rest of the tour, we're going to visit the kitchen. And you guys, this kitchen comes with everything we're going to need to cook our own food, including a rice cooker, a toaster oven, and even a cotton candy machine. That is definitely not something you'd usually find at an Airbnb. And the attention to detail in here is on another level. I mean, look at all of these labels.
For the dishes, This one's for the table. I'm not sure what this bag is for, but then these little sticks are for the cotton candy.
Then over here, there's a little table, a TV, and some seating.
They left us some origami paper, and then in this book there's all sorts of information, including the fact that sometimes there might be monkeys outside, so you need to watch out for those, and the book says not to touch them. Do you think it would be cool or scary to see a monkey?
Weird.
Weird.
And now, before we go to the tub area, we're going to go upstairs. And you guys, right up the stairs, you can see there's a curved bridge. Now, I haven't seen anything like this in any house before. Right at the top of the stairs, Lily found a door, and this isn't actually a real door, it's just painted to look like one. Right across the bridge into the parents' room, we found this little Romeo and Juliet window, and then right next to that, you can see the view. Check it out, you guys, it is so pretty. In the parents' room, we have 2 futon-style beds, which are kind of comfortable, but not my favorite. And then right behind the door, there's another bookcase.
Do you know what this is?
No.
Kuma no Paddington. Paddington Bear.
Why does he look like that?
I don't know. I thought he was supposed to have a red hat, but maybe in Japan he has a blue hat. I'm not sure. Wakanai. Now, right now, this is only set up with 3 futons, but there's actually room for 4, so we'll put the 4th one out before we go to bed, and there we go. And these are actually pretty comfortable, surprisingly. This room is nice and bright, and there's a big closet. So we're using this for everybody's clothes right now. Here's a little balcony out the front that looks over. We have the mountains and flowers. It's beautiful. And then right over here, there's a little bit of a creek, and we can actually hear the water. It's really nice. There's special shoes just to go out onto the balcony. Oh, we have to be really careful not to slip on these stairs. We've got a washing machine. I'm not sure if this dries too. Some of them do have a washer and a dryer built into one, but this has lots of storage. Up here we have some of the things that I brought from home. And if you guys missed the packing video, definitely go check that out. We have a really nice deep sink over here. And then here is the one shower and tub area. So what you're supposed to do is actually shower in this space and get all clean. They've provided shampoo and body wash and all of that. And then the shower head's up here. So you're supposed to, you can sit down. There's a little stool. You actually take your shower in this area, and then once you're all clean, you can get in the tub. And essentially, since you're already clean, when you get in this water, the whole family can share the same water. And there's even this little lid right here that you can put on top to keep it nice and hot. And then of course, out the back, there's also a beautiful view. But we haven't seen any monkeys yet.
We just found out that there's a secret room. I'm gonna show you it. This is in the pantry behind the bookshelf. Whoa. This is cool.
Oh, is it a reading nook?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said it had to do something to do with bookshelf, and then she knew it.
Bye.
Bye!
I almost forgot about the town bell. Apparently, this song plays throughout the city around lunchtime every day, and there's also another song that plays at the end of the workday too. So guys, this bell means it's almost lunchtime, so we need to hit the road. But before we can have lunch, we have a couple of stops to make. First, we're making a quick stop to a local museum. One of the things that Chichibu is known for are their festivals. But since we aren't here at festival time, I'm glad the kids could at least learn about them at this museum. Another thing that Chichibu is well known for are their soba noodles. And fun fact, you guys, my host family actually owns this soba shop right here in town, and I spent a lot of time here in my teens. I'm so glad we were able to stop here and visit with my host mom and my host brother, which was so nice. Now, I hadn't seen my old host family in a long time. In fact, Mackenzie was so tiny the last time I saw them.
Okay guys, so it is almost lunchtime. We're getting pretty hungry, and I know of one place in town where you can sample lots of different local dishes. So let's go check it out. This is the Seibu Chichibu station, the train station, but more than just a train station. They have an onsen, they also have a restaurant, and you can buy your souvenirs, your omiyage. Another thing they have here are the station stamps. We've been having a hard time finding these everywhere, but if you bring a paper or a little book, you can stamp it to show that you've been to the station. But Chichibu has a lot of local dishes, but one thing I really want to try is the miso potato. It looks like this. So it's basically potatoes on a stick, and they put a sweet miso glaze on top. Now, to get to the restaurant part, we have to actually walk through the souvenir shop first. In here, they have so many interesting looking food gifts. But I'm actually seeing a lot of this guy. Now, the town of Chichibu has its own mascot, and his name is Potte Kuma-kun. Now, I think that means something like Mr. Potato Bear in Japanese, but basically he's supposed to look like that miso potato snack that is really popular here. Now, in this little restaurant area, they do have these little machines, which makes ordering so easy, even if you don't know much Japanese. This is like the pork cutlet. This is the miso pork. This is the takoyaki.
And the potato stick.
And the potato stick. This is the ramen, and then this is the soba. First, we have to try those miso potatoes. Ooh, this has a lot of sauce on it. Seems kind of sticky. It's very sweet. We're also trying the local gyoza, some miso soup, and then of course my favorite, the cold soba. Itadakimasu. Now, it has been a long time since I've had soba, so this is the cold one. So I'm just gonna try to get, I don't want a ton, I just want a little bit. So now with this kind, you dip it in the broth and then you eat it like that. It's really good. It's so refreshing. And if you want, you can add these onions in here. You can add a little bit of wasabi in here, which I'm not gonna do. And that just adds more flavor. This is so good. So now we're gonna try the miso pork. This is another local favorite. It smells really good. It's a little bit chewy, but it tastes like a backyard barbecue. It's really good. Next, I'm trying the little pork cutlet. It's very good. It's a little bit oily, but it is fried, so to be expected. I thought the food here was so good, but I have to say the soba from my host family's restaurant is still my #1. Another thing that Chichibu is well known for is Mount Buko, and you can see that here right in front of us. And near Mount Buko is our next stop. We're going to a place called Hitsujiyama Koen. Now, this area is known for its pink moss fields, which unfortunately are not in full bloom yet, but as you can see, it's still so beautiful here. And now for the last stop of the day, which is to my favorite thrift store. When I came to Japan as a college student, I was definitely on a student budget. So anytime I needed something, I checked the thrift store first. In Japan, there are thrift stores for different types of items. The one we're going to today is a combination of them all. Okay guys, we made it to the Bookoff Bazaar. This is a gigantic thrift shop, and we're gonna go in and see what we can find. Now, lots of Bookoff locations just have books, but since this is a Bookoff Bazaar, it also has things like camping gear, musical instruments, sporting gear, toys, purses, collectibles, electronics, home appliances, and so much more.
Got lots of purses. Look at these adorable Mickey Mouse jeans for kids. All of my kids are too big for these, unfortunately, but they are adorable. I'm hoping to find more Disney stuff. Oh, Jackson's already found something else Disney, the little hat. Now this is a fun find. It looks like a cup noodle, but it's actually mist diffuser. Interesting. And it is 800 yen. We found some Disney items. Where do you find those? We gotta go see if there's more. We got a Duffy purse. We've got some Mickey ears, some Duffy ears, a Chip and Dale headband. Ooh, look at this one. Ooh, there's a pink one down here. Oh yeah, and these fluffy hats. I've seen pictures of these on people. They look so fun, but also kind of hot and sweaty. I could never wear a hat like this to Disney in Florida. Oh, there's a Cookie Monster. That's not Disney. Oh, look at this cute pink hat. Okay, I feel like I need to try this on. Oh, my head's too big. Okay, that's better. Does it look fun? Lily found a Shelly Mae purse. Now I'm sure we're gonna find these at Disney, but they're gonna be a lot more expensive. This one is only 880 yen. It's gonna Pirate Mickey, I love it. This is 550 yen. Oh, and these ones in Japan come with a little pin on the back, so you can easily pin it to your shirt or your bag, and they do that there. I found a Mickey purse and Mickey pass pouch. Maybe it's to hold your Disney ticket. It's the Disney collectibles. I'm guessing these ones are more expensive, and that's why they're behind glass. That Starbucks cup is 4,400 yen. I don't pay that much for the ones at home. Our basket is quickly filling up with lots of Disney merch. Now these bags and purses over here are designer, so they're a little bit more expensive. Then for the really fancy purses, those are behind the glass. I see some Louis Vuitton over here, all kinds of jewelry. And over here we have books and CDs and more toys and collectibles. Over there, I see Duffy's and Shelly Mae's, lots of them. You found gelatoni. This is 44. That's not too bad. It'd be way more in this at the park. Oh, that one would be good too. Here's a little purple rabbit. We've got a Mickey and Minnie set. We've got this Mickey and Minnie set. And a couple of different Donalds, but he looks kind of angry. Here we go. Kenzie found some Nintendo Switches. About $100. Ooh, half price. I also found the cookbook area. Ooh, bento ideas.
Let me show you what we found.
For some reason, Jackson chose this as his souvenir. Lily chose two stuffies, a gelatoni character from Disney, and Lunabelle? Is that her name? Lunabelle? I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. I chose the Minnie Mouse hat and these really unique looking Minnie Mouse ears. They actually say Tokyo Disney on the back. Oh yes, and I also chose the matching Minnie Mouse. We also picked up this Shelly Mae bag, and then Mackenzie picked out this game. And Mackenzie also found Taylor Swift's debut album. You definitely want to make sure that I showed you.
Konnichiwa everybody! In today's video, we're leaving the Japanese countryside and we're traveling to the Tokyo Disneyland Resort. But first, come with us as we make some fun, budget-friendly stops along the way. We'll experience a nearly deserted roller slide park. We'll go on a 7-Eleven shopping spree. We'll stop at a temple with over 10,000 cats. And when we make it to Tokyo Disneyland, we'll take you on a tour of one of the most budget-friendly hotels before ending the day with dinner at one of Japan's cheapest family-style restaurants. This was such a fun but jam-packed day, and I can't wait to share it with you. Now don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And now friends, come join our family and let the journey begin.
Ohayou gozaimasu! Today is the day we're heading to Disney, but first we have to pack up everything. This Airbnb has been so nice, and just spending time out in the countryside has been really nice too.
The Japanese countryside is definitely my favorite. You know, I've been seeing a lot in the news recently about Japan being extremely overcrowded with tourists, and it is, but if you're able to venture outside the major cities or get out into the countryside, you're gonna see a different side of Japan. It's actually pretty chill, very peaceful, and there's really so much to do and see. And speaking of that, Japan has some amazing family-friendly parks. Now, not all of them are going to be free to enter, but if there is a cost to get in, a lot of times it's only a couple of dollars to visit, which makes them such a budget-friendly stop.
ありがとうございました。
This is a huge play area, and the first thing we found is a pirate ship. This place is pretty much empty. It's like we have the entire place to ourselves. Wow, this is the longest roller slide I've ever seen.
Now, we ended up stopping at this park because it was along our journey today. In Japan, there's actually quite a lot of roller slide parks. In fact, there's one that's even longer and bigger than this one. And fun fact, you guys, a lot of other roller slide parks will actually provide a little cushion for you to sit on as you go down the slide itself, because if you don't have one of those pads, your backside can get pretty hot from all the friction as you go down. So needless to say, we only went down the slide a couple of times before we moved on to the rest of the park. This one had an amazing ropes course, a zip line, and lots of different play areas. Now, I'm sure if we were here on a weekend or a holiday, that this place would be completely packed.
After all of that, luckily we have lots of choices of drinks here. We've got some Pocari Sweat. That's a lot like a Gatorade type drink. This one looks interesting. It says Amino Supply Plus. That one's got like vitamin C and stuff like that. I'm not sure what this one is, but it does say Momo on it, which means peach. So it's something peach flavored. We've got some little bottles of Koo. That is an apple flavored drink. And of course we have some Coke. There's also all kinds of teas. Now instead of using change, this time we're going to use our IC card, the Costco card. Here it goes. That park was so much fun, and there was actually so much more to do and to see.
but unfortunately we're out of time because we need to make it to our next stop. Kids are going to change into something a little bit nicer because we're headed to a temple. Just joking, our next stop is going to be lunch. And once again, we're back at 7-Eleven. 7-Elevens here in Japan are really nothing like 7-Elevens back at home. Here, the variety is huge, the food is pretty fresh, and the prices are pretty low. I'm gonna let each kid pick out whatever they want for lunch with a challenge. They're gonna be picking one main item, one side, and one drink. So it's kind of like a meal deal would be from the UK. For Griffin's meal deal, he chose the Pizza Mon, which is like a pizza-filled steamed bun. These are really good and cheesy on the inside. He also picked pineapple for his side, and he got a water for his drink. For Lily's meal deal, she chose the potato stick. She loves these. This is her go-to 7-Eleven choice. Then for her side, she got the edamame. She loves those too. And then for her drink, she got the Mikan drinkable yogurt. Now, I've had the blueberry one of this, and it is so good. There's actually little bits of real fruit inside. For Mackenzie's meal deal, for her main, she got the little sushi rolls. These ones have egg, imitation crab, mayonnaise, and cucumber. And then for her side, she got the veggie cup. This has radish, cucumber, carrot, rice malt, mayonnaise for the dip. Oh yeah, and for her drink, she just got a water. Now Jackson has another interesting combination. He's got a piece of spicy chicken. This one's boneless, like a big chicken nugget. For his side, he got a banana, and for his drink, he got a Coke Zero. For my lunch, I went super simple. I just got the egg sando. This is my favorite. Then for everybody to share, I got some of these cheese corn chips. These ones are so good, and they're very similar to a Korean turtle chip. And then I also got these. These are usually caramel corn flavored, but these ones are actually cotton candy flavored. So a little bit of a salty snack and a little bit of a sweet snack for the rest of our road trip. Next stop, Gotokuji. Gotokuji Temple is known as the Lucky Cat Temple, and it's well known for their huge amount of maneki neko cat figurines, and these are supposed to symbolize good fortune. This temple is a little bit out of the way, especially if you're coming from Tokyo, so I was really glad that we were able to stop while we had access to a car. Now the grounds here are so beautiful, and because this is a temple, this definitely has more of a peaceful, reverent vibe. Now this temple is actually free to visit, but if you want, there is a small souvenir shop where you can buy your own little cat figurine, and I've read that people will actually make a wish or a prayer for good luck on the cat figurine, and then they'll leave it at the temple, or they'll take it home until the wish is fulfilled. Now, I would have loved to stay here longer. This is such a fun stop, especially if you are a cat lover like me. But we had to get going because we needed to return our rental car, and because by this time, we needed to check into our hotel near Tokyo Disney. Originally, I looked into booking the Toy Story Hotel, which looks so fun, but since it was already fully booked, we decided to stay right next door, which ended up being a much more budget-friendly option as well, at almost $200 less per night. We made it to the hotel. This is the Hilton Tokyo Bay. We are in a family suite. It's one of the few options that could fit all 6 of us. And here's the main room. Right now we have 2 beds here, 1 there, and they're gonna bring a separate bed to put over here. And then on this side, we have the bunk bed. And as you can see, we have sort of a forest theme going on with the trees on the wall. They've also provided pajamas. Over here, we have a pretty standard bathroom. It does have the Japanese style toilet seat, which we love. Then over here, we have a little
drink area with your coffee and your drinking mugs. And then in here we have a little fridge, but there isn't a microwave. They already brought our luggage in for us and put all of them over here, which was so nice. And there are some sort of magical features to this room. There's a little magic key that the kids put in the key slot, and something is supposed to happen. I'm not quite sure what it is. There's a little desk area and a TV. Here's our view. Beautiful water. Super nice sunny day.
Other perks of this hotel included 2 Lawson convenience stores in the lobby, and one of them is even open 24 hours. This means you can grab a quick, cheap breakfast or a cheap late night snack after leaving the park. Also, since this is a Disney partner hotel, they have their own Disney gift shop. And then most importantly for us, this hotel is right across the street from the monorail station, making it really easy to get to and from the parks. So we had a bit of a rest at our hotel, but now we're ready to explore and get some dinner. When you stay at the Hilton Tokyo Bay, there is a free shuttle to the Maihama Station, which is right next to Ikspiari, which is similar to Disney Springs or downtown Disney. And in this area, it's basically like a huge mall. We were so surprised to find several American restaurants. There were also lots of different food options, really. We also found lots of different shops, including our favorite Japanese dollar store called Daiso. And of course, they also had a Disney store, so we definitely had to pop in here and check out all of the cute souvenirs. By this time, we were definitely ready for some dinner, so we decided to try a place called Saizeria. This restaurant is considered a family-style restaurant, and they're known for their Japanese-Italian fusion dishes. Now checking out the menu, you can see that they have things like garlic bread, salads, pasta dishes, and a selection of pizzas. They also have something called a Hamburg steak, they have grilled chicken, french fries, and they also have desserts like tiramisu. Now at this restaurant, your food is brought to you by a little robot waiter, and I didn't realize just how budget-friendly this place would be. For Lily's dinner, she chose the cheese pizza. Both Kenzie and Griffin got the sausage pizza. I ordered a dish called a Doria. Now this was actually like a rice gratin. It had cream and a meat sauce. I really like this one. And then Jackson and John both ordered that Hamburg steak. So it's kind of like a bunless hamburger. This one also had some eggs, some potatoes, and corn. Now, was this just like Olive Garden? No, it wasn't. But you guys, for just over $25 for all 6 of us plus drinks, I think that is such a good deal. Definitely budget friendly. Now friends, definitely stay tuned for more content from Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. We went on some awesome rides and tried lots of fun snacks, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. What's up guys, Jennifer here with the Family Fudge, and today I'm taking you along with us to Tokyo Disneyland and to Tokyo Disney Sea. From unique rides and adorable food to shocking prices and cultural differences, we learned so much on this trip, and there were so many things that surprised us. I can't wait to share them all with you. Now for our family, when it comes to navigating a Disney park, we're not exactly new. tubes. When we lived in California and the kids were really little, we took them to Disneyland a few times a year. Now that we live in Florida, we visit Disney World a few times a week. And then last year, we were able to visit our first international Disney park in France. So, having visited so many different Disney parks, we are really able to see all the similarities and the differences when it comes to the Tokyo version of Disney. Now, before we get started, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Friends, I love making cute food on this channel all the time, so I'm super excited to share that the food at Tokyo Disney did not disappoint. We tried so many cute snacks. First, we got these green alien mochi balls. Now, these are a snack that you can find at both Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, and they are super popular. Now, for me, I'm a huge fan of any kind of mochi, but these ones were extra tasty. Oh, and they all had different fillings too. They had chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Next, we tried some Mickey popsicles. These were super refreshing, but not too sweet. We also tried the Mike Wazowski melon bread. This was so soft and fluffy, and it actually had a custard filling too. At Tokyo Disneyland, we also tried this meat and rice bowl. This came with shrimp and a super cute Mickey-shaped hard-boiled egg. This was so unique, and I really want to learn how to make these. Next, we also enjoyed some Mickey-shaped chicken nuggets and a Baymax burger. And then one of the cutest things that we tried over at Tokyo Disney Sea was this Duffy cookie. This had the cute little Duffy face on the outside and a salted caramel filling. And speaking of Duffy, that brings me to the next thing that really amazed me, and that is the merch. Now, having lived in Japan before, I knew there'd be a bunch of adorable souvenirs everywhere, but I was amazed by the variety of merch available here that you can't find in the US parks. We found lots of different hats. We found so many of these little cross-body bags. We found pillows, t-shirts, a ton of different keychains, and then I did end up buying several pairs of mini ears. I was also really surprised to find out that you can only find Duffy and Friends souvenirs at Tokyo Disney Sea. You can't find it anywhere else. Now, if you're not familiar with Duffy, he is supposed to be Mickey Mouse's bear, and then he has a bunch of different animal friends. These characters are pretty popular here at Tokyo Disney Sea and at other Disney parks in Asia. Now, we did end up taking home Duffy and all of his friends. Next up, we're talking about the ride differences. Tokyo Disney has some amazing rides that aren't found in any other Disney parks. Now, at Tokyo Disneyland, my favorite has to be the Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. This is a trackless dark ride that makes you feel like you're stepping into the movie from the 90s. Now, I love this one so much. I personally think that this is the best ride in all of Tokyo Disneyland. Then over at Tokyo Disney Sea, my favorite ride has to be Journey to the Center of the Earth. This ride is definitely a wild one. It takes you through a volcano, down dark tunnels. There are lots of special effects and some unexpected drops. We all love this one. Also at Tokyo Disney, you're gonna find rides that are similar but different to the ones in the US. One that I really loved was It's a Small World. In the Tokyo version, they've included so many more characters from our favorite classic Disney movies. And it's really kind of a fun challenge to spot them all in the ride. And then at Tokyo Disney Sea, they have a version of Soarin' that is really different. Not only does the queue have a completely different storyline, but then in the ride itself, at the very end, you end up at Tokyo Disney Sea instead of at Epcot or at Disneyland in California. Okay guys, next up we have to talk about popcorn. Popcorn is one of the most popular snacks at Tokyo Disney, and the lines for popcorn can get up to over 30 minutes or more. They are serious about their popcorn here. Now, personally, I was amazed to see just how many unique flavors they had. We tried the cheddar cheese, the salted caramel, the strawberry Neapolitan. They had a milk chocolate flavor, a corn soup flavor, a soy sauce and butter, but then our favorite had to be the curry popcorn. This one was so good. It was very savory, but not too spicy. And then to go along with the popcorn, they also have so many different popcorn buckets. And at Tokyo Disney, these are on a totally different level. Now, when we visited, they had so many different buckets to choose from. It was really hard to just pick a couple, but we did end up with the Monsters Inc. bucket, the Donald Duck bucket, and the Beauty and the Beast bucket that actually lights up. And you guys, instead of having to go all around the park to find these buckets, I love that at Tokyo Disneyland, they have one location where you can find them all. Okay guys, next up, the themed vending machines at Tokyo Disney have me seriously wondering why we don't have any of these in the US parks. Not only are these machines all over the parks, but they're all themed to the specific land they're in. If you listen closely to the Baymax themed ones, they actually make a meowing sound.
A lot of these machines tend to have the same drinks. We have Coke, a tea, a sports drink, water, green tea, and this one's hot. And they have royal milk tea, which is also hot.
And then if you look closely, the Alice in Wonderland ones actually put out a little bit of steam, just like a real teapot. Now that brings me to the clothing. Here in Florida, where we live, the most popular things to wear to the Disney parks are either athletic wear or just a t-shirt and shorts. The dress code here is pretty relaxed. Clothing is really different in Tokyo Disney. I was really surprised to see just how different. Now first up, I already knew about the matching trend at Tokyo Disney. Now this is where couples or groups of friends will purposefully match each other while in the park. Now actually, this is something that I love to do with my family just here at Disney World, and we do that all the time. So I made sure to pack lots of coordinating outfits for our trip. At Tokyo Disney, not everyone followed that matching trend, but what I did notice was that so many people were dressed really nice, especially for being at a Disney park. I'm talking long dresses, long skirts, button-ups, just really nice. I didn't see very many jeans. To me, the style looked like what I would call dressing in my Sunday best. It was really fancy, and that is just so different than what people wear to the parks here. The next thing that really surprised us about Tokyo Disney were the prices. As of right now at Tokyo Disney, a one-day adult ticket is going to cost anywhere between $50 to about $70 depending on the time of year. Now this seems like such a bargain compared to Disneyland or Disney World, where a one-day adult ticket is going to be a lot more. Now just like the US parks, Tokyo Disney also has their version of a fast pass system. This can cost you a little bit more, but it also can save you a lot of time. Now, other than the ticket prices, you're also going to find lots of snacks that are cheaper than the US, some drinks that are cheaper than the US, and definitely the merch is cheaper too. The next thing that really amazed us was the whole process of entering the park. First off, it's recommended to start lining up outside the park at least 1 hour before opening. But some people will actually get there 2 or even 3 hours early. That way, they can be some of the first people in the park itself. At that time, lines will be shorter, and there's more opportunity to book things like passes for rides and shows. Now, if you've ever seen video of the lines outside, they can look kind of crazy. But honestly, when we were there, the lines were not bad at all. At both Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, the lines are clearly marked, and pretty much everybody is polite. There's no cutting, and because people are there so early, they'll even bring blankets to sit on, and lots of people, us included, even brought their breakfast to eat while they were waiting. It's all very orderly. Okay guys, next up I have to mention the monorail system, and that's because it is very different than what we're used to here at the US parks. Now first off, the Tokyo Disney monorail isn't free and it's not included with your park ticket either. But even though the fare is actually quite low at just about $1.90 per adult and $1 for kids. Now to me, the Tokyo Disney monorail is very similar to the local trains you might ride around Tokyo, with the big exception that the Tokyo Disney monorail is way cuter than a regular train. The windows are Mickey shaped, the handles are Mickey shaped, and the seating feels much more plush. One of the monorails even has these curvy couch-like seats. And now last but not least, one of the most amazing things about Tokyo Disney overall is the amount of theming and just the scale of the parks themselves, especially at Disney Sea. This was not like any Disney park we'd ever seen. This place is massive. It even has a big volcano, a huge lagoon, an entire steamliner, and so much more. The Tokyo Disney parks are completely immersive and they're just out of this world. Now, if you'd like to see even more of our travels in Japan, you can check out our playlist in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.